We're going to go over Leetcode question, rotate image. Major tech companies ask this question while they're conducting their technical interviews. I hope you'll find this video tutorial useful for your technical interview preparation. Let's start with reading the question. You are given an n by n 2D matrix representing an image. Rotate the image by 90 degrees clockwise. Note, you have to rotate the image in place, which means you have to modify the input 2D matrix directly. Do not allocate another 2D matrix and do the rotation. So we're given a matrix and we need to rotate in place. So 1, 2, 3 becomes here, 4, 5, 6 in the middle, and 7, 8, 9 in the first column. Second example is we're given the input matrix and 5, 1, 9, 11 becomes here, the last column, then 2, 4, 8, 9, third, 13, 3, 6, 7 in the second, and 15, 14, 12, and 16 on the first column. There are a few ways of doing this problem. One of them is, for example, we reverse the matrix up and down, 1, 2, 3, and 7, 8, 9, reverse. Then we draw a diagonal and reverse symmetry, for example, transposing, like 8 and 4 swapped, 1 and 9 swapped, so 9 becomes here, 2 and 6 swapped, and that gives us the answer. This is one way of doing this. We can use another variable to store one of the items and reverse all the others and put it in place. That's another way of doing this. But I'll show you the easiest way of solving. First thing we need to do is we transpose the matrix. I recorded a video on transposing the matrix. It will be helpful if you watch that and come back to this video. So for transposing means we draw a diagonal and swapping these numbers. Basically, we are swapping I and j indices, so rows and columns. We are swapping rows and columns, and to do that, we swap I and j indices. For example, 0 and 1 in this becomes 1 and 0. So 0 and 1 here, 1, that becomes 2. We put 2 here. And 1 and 0 becomes 1. We swap these two. 0 and 2 becomes 0 and 2 and 0. So this becomes 13 and this one 9. 0 and 3 becomes 3 and 0. So 15 and 11. So 1 and 1 becomes 1 and 1 and stays the same. 1 and 2 becomes 2 and 1. So this is 3, this is 8. 1 and 2 becomes 2 and 1. It's 14, this is 10. 2 and 3 becomes 3 and 2. And this is 7. I hope I made it correct. So 5, 2, 13, 15. Okay, that looks correct. So next thing we do is, so we swap the matrix. So I and j indices, we swap with j and I indices, and we created a transpose of the matrix. And the next thing we need to do is we need to reverse this matrix rows. For each row, we need to reverse them. So swapping each value with the reverse of it. For example, 5 to 13, 15 becomes 15, 13 to 5. So let's write it and see. This becomes 15, 13, 2, and 5. So we're reversing this. So this becomes 14, 3, 4, and 1. This becomes 12, 6, 8, and 9. And this becomes 16, 7, 10, 11. Okay, so that is pretty much how it looks. And let's see if it's correct. Which should be 15, 13, 2, 5, 15, 13, 2, 5, 14, 3, 4, 1, 14, 3, 4, 1, 12, 6, 8, 9, 12, 6, 8, 9, 16, 7, 10, 11. 16, 7, 10, 11. So we rotated the first row to clockwise, and it's now here. And second one here, third one here. So 2 steps. First we transpose, swapping matrix I and j to j and I, and then we reverse. Matrix I and matrix I length -1 minus j. This is pretty much what we need to do to solve this problem. It's quite simple if you approach this way. This is the transpose part. We go through row and column and swapping I and j indices using temp and making the j and I equals to temp. And in the second one, we go through each row and swapping the numbers. We can also use 2 pointers, right and left, and making them walk towards each other. That's another way of doing this. But for this one, I use this way, and I believe this should work now. Okay, it looks like it works. So this is pretty much how you solve the rotate image question. I have more videos coming up. If you subscribe to my channel, we'll meet again later. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.